Let us see a few examples for alternation and grouping. Alternation helps you to match multiple terms, and each of these terms can have their own independent anchors. We can use backslash and the pipe character combination to separate the different search patterns. So let's see an example. Suppose I want to match min or max. So I can provide these two search patterns separated by backslash and a pipe character. You can use one or more alternatives. So for example, 1 or 2 or 3 or and or read and so on. Next, let us see an example with anchors applied to the search patterns. So for example, I want to match par as a whole word only, and I want to match lines ending with D. So I'll add the $key. So you can see this matches par only as a whole word, and it matches D only at the end of the lines. Let's go back. Often, there are some common things among these alternatives. In such cases, we can group them using a pair of parenthesis metacharacters. So in mathematics, you might have seen such an expression. abd plus acd can be rewritten by taking out ad, which are common among these two terms outside, and within parenthesis we can say b and plus c. Similarly, if we want to match abd or acd, we can take out a and d outside, and within parenthesis we can say b or c. Apart from taking out common terms, grouping a pattern allows you to apply quantifiers, and we'll see few more use cases like back references later. So let's see some examples. Suppose I want to match hand or handy or handful. So you can either spell them out separately, or we can make use of the fact that hand is common among these three search patterns. You might wonder why the entire word is not highlighted. So that's because of precedence. So I'll explain that later. If I change this to handful followed by handy and followed by hand, you will see the entire match is highlighted. So now, between these three terms, hand is common. So what we can do is we can specify hand, and within parentheses we can specify the unique terms. So we need to match y or full or nothing. So to do that, we can make this group optional. Let me show another example with quantifiers. So I want to search for 2 any number of times. So this will match TO or TO 2 times, 3 times, and so on. So this example might be better realized by using the substitute command. If I replace all occurrences of 2 with x, then this will be changed to x, this will be xx, this will be xxx, and so on. Instead, if I apply the quantifier, then each of these will be a separate match. So there will be only 4 replacements. You can see there are only 4 x. Let's see one more example with grouping. Suppose I want to match read or released or received. So RE and ED are common. RE and ED are common, and within parenthesis we can specify the rest of the terms. To match read as well, we can make this optional. So let's go back. When you use alternation, you have to be aware of the precedence. Suppose you want to match R or SPAD. Which one should get precedence? You can see R is within this bigger word as well. So the first rule you need to remember is the alternative which matches earliest in the input gets precedence irrespective of the order of these alternatives. For example, let's consider this line and I want to replace R or SPAD. So whichever term matches earliest in the input will get preference. So in this case, the order will not matter because when it sees R, so there is no conflict between these two terms. And when it sees SPAD, this will always match before ARE can be matched because this S occurs earlier than A in this line. So if I use R followed by SPAD, I'll get this result, and let me undo that and change the order, and this time I'll get the same result. Next, let us see where order can matter. So this will happen if the alternatives have same characters at the start. So between SPA and SPAD, the first three characters are same. So in this case, the order in which you specify these two alternatives will matter. So the leftmost alternative gets precedence. So for example, in this line, if I substitute SPA or SPAD, SPA will get preference. So this particular term will never match because SPA is part of this larger word and this is specified earlier in this alternation order. And let me repeat that by changing to SPAD followed by SPA. So in this case, this term gets precedence. So SPAD will be replaced with X. If not, SPA will be replaced with X. So you can see these two lines were having the same content, but while replacing, the order was different, so we got different results. So let me summarize this again. The alternative which matches earliest in the input gets the precedence. But if the alternatives match from the same location, then the leftmost alternative gets the precedence.